look at that. Look at this camera. It's the Fuji X-T1. And in this video I'm gonna talk about this X-T1 and if it's the camera for you maybe, or just in general about the Fuji X-T1 and why it's such a great camera. This was the camera that changed Fujifilm in my opinion, and I'm gonna talk about that in this video. So I wanna start by saying that this camera is actually not my camera. This is my girlfriend's camera. It's a funny story because I am very into photography and videos and taking photos of stuff, and I do it sometimes as like a side business. I kind of influenced her in getting a camera actually, because she likes to take photos whenever she is like somewhere, but she wanted to try that with a real camera. So she got this Fuji X-T1 here, and it's in very nice condition for 250 euros, which is crazy because on second-hand sites like MPB or KEH, this camera sells for around 300 to 400 euros or even more. They are just crazy expensive nowadays, and yeah, you should be like looking out for them for like steal, because this one was definitely a steal. It's in great condition, so nothing to say about that. So yeah, I kind of influenced her into getting a camera. So I helped her decide to get this X-T1 because it's a beautiful camera first of all, and it's also a great beginner camera. That's a funny story because my first Fuji camera was actually the X-T1 as well. So that's also why it's a great beginner camera, because with this camera I learned so much. I learned the entire exposure triangle, and that's for a couple of reasons. First, you'll see that on this camera body there are all kinds of buttons, and you can see that here you have a shutter speed dial, and then on this side you have a ISO dial, and she also got a lens with it actually, because well, you can shoot a camera without a lens. So she got this 35mm f2 lens here. It's a very small little lens, and it's very great to pair with a smaller body like an X-T1. And with this lens has an aperture ring on it, so you have your entire exposure triangle on your actual body, so you don't have to go into the menu or settings, whatever. You can just change your shutter speed, your ISO, and your apertures on the lens. And that's one thing that I really love about the X-T range on Fujifilm, is that how the dials are all on the body, as you can see. And for example, I shoot on my X-E4 right now, and my X-E4 only has a shutter speed dial and no ISO dial. It really sucks in my opinion, because if you look at like an X106 or an X Pro 3, those cameras have a shutter speed dial with an ISO dial in it, but the X-E4 just lacks that, which is kind of strange. So I hope the X-E5 will have that, but that's kind of another topic. Yeah, this camera is amazing for beginners because it has everything that you need on top of the body, and on every Fuji lens you have a aperture ring, so that's great for beginners. You can easily learn how to shoot manual. The best thing of this camera probably is that it has the X-Trans 2 sensor in it, which you've probably watched other YouTubers talk about Fuji sensors and stuff like that, and almost every one of them says that the X-Trans 2 is the best for some reason. And I have shot with the X-Trans 2 and I really like the X-Trans 2, and I think the X-Trans 4 in my newer camera is like my X-E4 is the best in my opinion. But yeah, it takes beautiful photos is what I want to say. It has a awesome sensor. Let me show you real quick. It's here, the beautiful X-Trans 2 sensor. It's a amazing sensor for vintage looking photos. If you're looking for that, you can change your recipes and simulations on this camera as well. Not as much as some newer camera bodies like an X-E4, but you can change some settings on this, which is great. The camera is also very small, so for someone that's looking for a compact body to just take wherever you go, this is great. You can just put it in like a little bag or a big jacket pocket. You can just fit this in with a small little lens like this one, or a pancake lens. So yeah, the body is also very small, and And yeah, other than that, I don't have anything to say about this camera. It's a really awesome camera from Fuji. It was the first, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's the first X-T camera in like the whole Fuji camera lineup. So yeah, obviously it's the X-T1 and then X-T2, 3, 4, 5 come after that. And those are all amazing cameras. I've owned the X-T3 for a long time as well, and that was a beautiful camera and was so nice to have and to use. And that's the same with the X-T1. It's just a little bit slower because this thing is 10 years old or 11 years old, but yeah, it's still amazing to use, and it's really not that slow compared to an X Pro 1 or X100 original. So it's really easy to use. And other than that, it's just almost on par with the newer cameras in terms of image quality. It's not really made for videos, so this is like a stills camera. So if you're looking for a video camera, you should look at the X-T3 or maybe 4 or 5. Other than that, a beautiful photography camera. You should really get this if you are a beginner. As I said, you can just learn how to shoot manual easily with all the dials and the aperturing on your Fujifilm lens. But even if you are experienced or you're just someone looking for a camera, I would really recommend this because yeah, it's just a fun camera to use and it's very nice and it takes beautiful photos, as I said. So yes, if you want to get an X-T1, I would really recommend it. I have a little bit of experience with this camera, as I said, because this was my first camera, so I owned this for around 4 to 5 months or so whenever I was like a big beginner. So I learned a lot with this camera, which is very nice. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below. Let me know if you have a X-T1 or another X-T camera. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.